Wow, everyone. I don't know exactly what happened here, but yeah, we kind of, everything kind of went kaput on us. Anyhow, I'm starting to get them back out here right now. They're starting to come on. I really appreciate it. I don't know exactly what happened. I've still got the guys sitting in the green room right now. Very, very interesting. I don't know exactly what went down. I feel pretty bad about this right now too. So, anyhow, we're going to get going with the show here. I think I got it up and running right now pretty good. And I got one of my guests clicked back on. The other two should be on shortly here. First of all, let me apologize. I don't know what happened. Everybody knows I'm not a technical wizard. Okay. So I had it all set up. I don't know what went south on it, but it did go south. And Paul Farrell, I appreciate it, buddy. Kiko man. So I don't know what happened. But anyhow, tonight I have got some great guests on here tonight. I've got Howdy James McGuff, I've got Dave Wees Cook, and I've got Bud Orr on here tonight. And we're going to talk about a gentleman that has passed away within the last week, Aaron Carter. And he has done so much for paintball over the years, made so many, he had Carter Machine Shop, just absolutely did a lot of great things for a lot of people. And Bud and Weeze and Howdy tonight, these guys all knew him very well. And so we're going to talk a little bit about him tonight because one thing I hate is a few months ago we lost Joe West, J&J Barrels. Now we lose Aaron Carter, and a lot of the guys that worked really hard back in the day to make paintball what it is today, we're all getting older. It's just what it is. So, but one thing we don't want you to do is we don't want the youngsters nowadays to forget the people who really worked hard at this. That's why I have that at the beginning of my show. I always have the shout outs and everything. That's what the shout outs are all about, is I just want to make people aware of who worked very hard back in the day for the sport of paintball. They really did. A few things I want to mention here real quick, though, is February 10th, coming up quick, is first of the series of the WCPL tournaments, and it's going to be at SC Village. If you get a chance, you're going to want to come down, even if you're not playing, come down and support it. Support all the WCPL tournaments if you can. I think we're trying really hard to give everybody a different venue of going out and playing paintball, and we think it's pretty good. We really do, and we love the support that you guys give us, and we're looking forward to more of you coming out and doing it. And then I want to mention Hanu, TJ Box. He has the first of the Legends games, and it's coming up really quick too. It's the Hawaiian Legend, and it's going to be in Maui, and it's February 16th through the 18th. I know he does that. I don't know if he did it last year, but he did it the year before. And the people that have done it before, I've talked to them, and they said it's absolutely great. They have a terrific time. So if you get a chance, you're going to want to jump over there. And you're in Hawaii. Hello. Should be pretty cool. And Maui's a great place to visit, the way I understand. I haven't had the pleasure of being there yet, but if you get a chance, you're going to want to jump over there and check that out. And then something new coming up. It's the Summit. Okay, it's a Summit trade show, and it's going to be in Las Vegas, and it's going to be March 11th through the 13th, and it's at the Sahara Hotel and Casino. And it's supposed to be pretty cool. I am actually going to be there. I'm taking the setup down there, and I'm going live with David Justin. David Justin's going to do the mobile for me. I'm going to actually be in the stationary booth, and he will be walking around and talking to the vendors and different people at this. So it's going to be an industry trade show. So if you get a chance, you're going to want to go check that out. That sounds like an awful lot of fun, man. I got to tell you, March 11th through the 13th at Sahara Hotel and Casino. Let me get my shout outs real quick so I can get these guys back out here. Yeah, because I don't know what happened at the very beginning. That just pretty much sucked. but I got everybody watching now. So, geez. I start every week with Tim Schloss, Tiger Stripe Camouflage, and Gateway Paintball in St. Louis. Tim has one of the best fields you'll ever want to play. You get a chance, go to Gateway Paintball in St. Louis. It's I mean, we have the last of the WCPL tournaments there in October, but anytime you can go play that field, you're going to absolutely love it. Then we got Dan and John Colby. I mentioned them from Immortal Air America back in the day. Great guys. Worked very, very hard for paintball back then. Still do. Mr. Bud Orr. When we had the glitch, Bud was coming on tonight. I clicked Bud off. I'm hoping he's going to be able to jump back on here again. We'll see in a little bit. Tom K, Airgun Designs. Great, great guy. Terrific marker. A lot of people still use it today. You know, Bud Orr's Autococker and Tom K's Mag, they just seem to live on, man. It's just incredible how they are. And Rainey and Juvie Boucher, Paintball News. Randy Camilla, APG, editor for APG back in the day. Jerry Braun, editor for Paintball Sports Magazine back in the day, and has Paintball Sports Field in Newburgh, New York right now, where the third of the WCPL tournaments are held every year. And then Ross Alexander. Ross Alexander was my first marker sponsor. I actually still have my Bushmaster up there. And I was talking to Howdy in the green room before the show, and we were talking about those days, 15-man, 45-minute games. It was a trip. It really was. And then Jim Lively, two events he wanted to do back in the day, Lively's Masters and Jerry Braun's World Cup. It was like family reunions. It really, really was. And then I got to mention Gino from Velkin. Gino does an awful lot of things for people behind the scenes, and he definitely deserves a shout out every week. And then my two little buddies, the Young Gun guys, Jaden Gong and Mark Gong Jr. Absolutely terrific. The Young Guns are our future. Let's bring them up and bring them up good. All right, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about Aaron Carter tonight. I'm going to bring on some guys that knew him really, really well. And I'm going to start with my buddy all the way from the snow country. Well, I think all these guys are in the snow country except me and Bud. We're just in the 60-degree cold weather country. But anyhow, that's another story. So please, everybody, welcome. We call him Howdy because he has been around for a long time, and everybody knows him as Howdy, Mr. James McGough. How you doing, buddy?
Good evening, Fred.
Man, I don't know what happened. Man, everything was good, but it wasn't pulling up on the site.
Gremlins, dude. Gremlins, man. It happens.
Man, it was a suck.
We got it back.
Yeah, we got it back. You know, we got Weiss too. I'm going to bring Weiss out right here, right now.
Excellent.
Hey, everybody, welcome Mr. Dave Weiss Cook. How you doing, Dave?
I'm good, buddy. Good to see you again, Fred.
Oh man, love it. I appreciate you guys coming
What's
on
up,
tonight. You know? Yeah, we haven't got Bud back on though, man. I clicked him off. I hope he clicks back on again.
Yeah, we'll get him back.
Yeah, I sent him the thing, but we'll see what happens here because he was all set up before.
Yeah.
Let me see if he got the new one. Yeah, he got the new one. So just got to wait for him to click back on. Well, you know, I wanted to do this show tonight. I wanted to talk about Aaron Carter. You know, we'll talk about a lot of things, but, you know, I'd like to start out with Aaron Carter because you guys know that we lost Joe West a few months ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was a tragic the way he was taken out, too, you know, driving his tractor home from his mother-in-law's and then hit by a car. So anyhow, we lost another good one this last week. And now, Howdy, I'll start with you real quick because, you know, you actually played on a team way back in the day with Aaron. Am I right?
Yeah, a couple teams. The first team I played with, actually, the first time I played with Aaron was at the SC Village.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, with Jessica and Termite, and we had Russ Maynard. There's a name that you don't hear often, you know, Russell Maynard.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
He had a tournament series also back in the day.
John Barber, man. You know, we talking some old timers. A lot of people of who are those guys mercenary service?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I didn't know that's where you guys started was down there. I thought it was back at
Yeah.
Skirmish when you guys linked up back there at Paul Fogel's field.
That's how we first met. It was down at SC Village. We were playing
Oh.
ball there, and just a lot of cool people, man. A lot of history makers down there. So
Yeah.
It's honored to be a part of that, man. Like I said.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, Weiss, you know him too, correct?
I do. It goes back to when I first started playing, back when I was 17 on the California Black Diamonds, and obviously being sponsored by John Gregory, JT, and headed down south all the time for practice, or hanging out with Youngblood. We'd go over there and shop because him and Aaron were real close, along with Wes Wong. So Wes actually worked for Aaron at the time, and so Dave and I would go over to go see Aaron and see Wes, and it just.
You know what's funny? I was just at a thing for Lil Throng a couple of months ago. Anyhow, did a fundraiser for her, and Wes Wong was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I was there with this old guy too, man. How you doing, bud?
He's back.
Uh-oh, no mic. Got to turn your mic on.
That's all right, bud. We're all married, man. We're used to it. Let's move it back in here.
I think you're referring as your wife doesn't hear you. Okay, Bud, go ahead, Bud.
No,
we can't hear you.
Can't hear
Can't hear you, Bud.
Oh.
Yeah, we can't hear you. It's your microphone.
Yeah. What's this, the comedy hour?
Work on your microphone. Poor guy. Hey, I can't see anything, man. I mean, the whole show choked for me at the beginning. I mean, I couldn't believe it wouldn't connect to. Yeah, he'll jump back on. It didn't connect to my Facebook page, my Flagpole Production. So I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're all hooked up now. It's no problem now. So, Aaron Carter, when did you first meet Aaron Carter, Weiss?
Back when I was about 17. So I'm.
How about now?
We got you now, buddy. Right on. Okay, so go ahead, Dave.
About 17 years old, and we headed down for some practice and go see JT and John Gregory and check out. I hadn't been to his operation yet, so John invited me down, and Dave said, "Hey, let's go see my buddy Carter." And I'm like, "Who's that?" Barely been in sport for maybe a year, if even that, and I've seen a few magazines here and there, and go down. And little did I know, what an icon he was. But it was fun. Little tiny shop, machine shop, and Wes was there. That's how it started. And between making barrels and then the old buzzard, I think is what the pump gun that he had. That was just phenomenal marker. And that's when I first got to meet him, and it was funny because first time I did, I'm like, well, what do you do? And what do you make? Well, how do you? I'm this little tiny kid, and I'm walking around this machine shop. I'm like, well, what's this? And what's this? And can I get one of them?
Yeah. Hey, Dave, did you see the picture? I can't remember who put the picture out, but there's a picture on the internet right now. Somebody put as their profile. It's got you, Bob Long, myself.
Yeah, that was me.
Wow.
Man, you look so young in that picture. Oh, my God.
What do you say? I'm old now?
No,
and I had hair. Yeah. Yeah, that's what sucks, but everybody's young to us.
I'm hiding it.
Yeah, I lost all my hair from riding my scooter. So
yeah,
you're a Harley guy too,
I
aren't
lost
you?
mine riding Harleys.
Yeah, that's what. You still got your Harley, Dave?
I do.
Yeah, so do I. I got mine too.
I've got it actually down the road because we usually get a decent amount of snow. So I got about 8 miles down the road. That way, if it's decent out, I can still ride. Otherwise, with the snow, I can't get it up and down the mountain. So
right, yeah.
Us along with the Model A.
Wow. Bud, you he mentioned Wes Wong too, and you and I were just with Wes a couple of months ago. down there at Lil Trong's
Yeah.
place.
Yep. Uh,
Yeah, that
no,
was
he,
amazing to see him. Wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
Aaron's birthday just passed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wes was with him. Yeah, Wes was with him on his birthday. Kind of.
Oh,
Matter of fact,
really?
it was on Facebook. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, Bud, when did you first meet Aaron?
It's probably around 84, 85, somewhere in there, 80, right in there, somewhere.
He
And
was already making markers, right?
yeah, yeah, he was. He hadn't made the Annihilator yet, but he was doing a lot of work on null spot stuff, and then I really got to know him a little bit more better when he made the Annihilator, and because he sponsored the Headhunters, and he was, he's always just, I mean, he's just a different person. He's just a great guy. He's right there with you. He wasn't real pushy. He was smart as a whip. Boy, I tell you, guy, and he taught me a lot. Like I said before, if I'd run into a problem, I could go to him, and it helped me solve it. And but no, he was just a fantastic person.
Well, Bud, back in the day, all you guys were smart as whips because who did everybody else have to try to copy all these years? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. You, Aaron, Tom K, Tipman. You guys were really the forefront of a lot of this stuff. And I got to tell you, I just my hats off to you. And losing him now, it just seems so unreal because we just lost Joe West, and then now we lose Aaron. So, and I wanted to have you guys on tonight because you guys all knew him, and Howdy up here, Howdy played paintball with him. Am I right,
Yeah.
Howdy?
On a few occasions, yes. As a matter of fact, the first time I played with him at Satchung with Jessica and all those guys, uh, it was just a pickup game. And I remember he hated those stinging nettles. It was something that, I don't know, Weave probably knows better than anybody, but he just never wanted to go near those things. And he called for me. He goes, hi. He goes, hey, Mac, where are you? I said, I'm in here. He comes running in. And the next thing he goes running out. He goes, freaking nettles, man. He was a little upset with me, but it didn't bother me. But, he ran in there and he got stung up pretty good, man. But the best time was actually 88. We had a great time. We really did. Out in the Poconos, throw together team. Aaron asked us to play for the Carter Machine Widowmakers. At that time, the Carter Comp was a pretty big gun.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, Bud?
yeah.
The Carter Comp was a pretty big gun, man. Very nice shooter. I had my termite gun, which was actually kind of like Aaron monstered with termite Smith, but it became a great gun. I still have it today, and I'm thinking about unloading. I'd love to see that gun go into like a museum, but I can't let that thing go for nothing. It's just a one of a kind gun with my bolt, linear bearing pump handle. It's just amazing, And these are the things. Right. These are the things that we used to do back in the day, though.
Oh, we all did. I mean,
yeah.
Biff Seal, real quick, was asking. It was just a few months ago. Biff, he was driving his tractor and a car hit him. So it was very, very sad. Just none of us ever feel like it's time to go, but it's out of our hands. When it's going to happen, it's just going to happen. That's cut and dry. We have nothing we can do about it. It's just, the paintball community. To me, that's why I wanted to do this show and talk about Aaron, and I mentioned to Joe also is because back in the day, these guys worked extremely hard. And back in the day when we all started back in '84 and stuff, it was nothing like it is now. First of all, there wasn't stores everywhere. There wasn't fields everywhere. Everywhere there was
Garage.
people calling you. Yeah, everywhere there was people calling you warmongers, and I mean, all of this had to be overcome over the years. And these guys, I'm sure they took a lot of heat for making the markers and stuff back in the day. But guys like Bud and Chipman and Tom Kay and Aaron, they didn't back down. They kept going.
Yeah.
And if they would have backed down, paintball would probably still be here today. But in what capacity would it be here? Because these guys just meant an awful lot and did an awful lot too.
You
So
know, the key thing that we did back in the day, all of us, I can't think of, I just sitting here thinking, trying to figure out, all of us work together. The manufacturers work together.
yep,
And I mean, Tom Kay and I and Aaron and you just name a manufacturer,
yeah.
uh,
And Tipman, you
Mike
guys all,
Cassidy,
yeah, you guys.
yeah.
Way I understand it, you Tipman and Tom Kay spent the whole night in a motel room, up all night talking. Some was one of the stories I
Oh,
got about you guys.
oh yeah, there was like, I mean, you name a manufacturer, and we was at Deborah's tournament,
Yep,
and we'd all gather up in somebody's room, and that's where the Automag started.
yep,
That's where Ammo Box started. That's where the six pack started. That's where barrel manufacturing started. I mean, it just, and we all talked about it. We wasn't scared of getting ripped off from each other. And if we had a problem, we'd talk to each other about it. I
Yeah.
mean, and there was no, back then there was no worry about somebody copying you. You know, I mean, if somebody wanted to copy me, I'd give them my blueprints. I mean, that's, if you could, if you want to, I did that a few times. Matter of
yeah.
fact,
You
people
know,
making parts and stuff, and so did Aaron. I made parts for Aaron at one time. Not many. You know, um,
that's part of the
I don't.
problem nowadays, though, Bud. Everybody wants their piece of the pie nowadays, but they don't understand if they all work together, the pie would be so big that their piece would be huge. And
Yeah,
that's one problem. That's why I try to bring everybody together. I always say, if we work together, we make paintball bigger and better. And it's the truth too, because back in the day, you guys were the manufacturers, but you guys all took me under your wing. I mean, I got to hang out with you guys almost from day one when I got into paintball. And, I tried pushing all the products that I thought were good things. So,
oh yeah.
but we all worked together to do it back then. Now it doesn't work so much that way. Now there's a lot of individualism that I really don't think, helps paintball. And here, Tracy Prez said it. Together we are paintball strong.
There you
Sweetie,
go.
you
Yeah.
are so right. It's not even funny. Believe me. Hey, what do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, it's spot on. I mean, back in the day, I mean, guys like Bud, I mean, there was times I wasn't even sponsored by Bud, and Bud called me up, what do you need? I had my accident, but he wants to call me up, what do you need? I'm like, but Bud, you're not even my sponsor. Yeah, but your family. And I mean, Aaron Carter was the same way. John Gregory of JT. I mean, I get, there's a few strong names out there. J&J was the same way. I mean, Joe, totally hooked me up multiple times. You just don't see that much anymore, but you also don't see the players giving back like you used to either, and
No.
that's the sad
There
thing.
you go.
I should,
Go, East.
and John Gregory, like, Weeze, you need to go get ready to play. No, John, I got plenty of time, man. What do you need? I'll help set up. I'll sit here. I'll
There you
sit,
go.
whatever. But you just don't see that as much anymore. It's sad.
Well,
We
but
got to get to St. Louis,
I,
man.
I see it coming back just a little bit, and the WCPL, are we big? No. Do we want to be big? No. And you know, Tom Cole, I applaud him. What he's done, I
Yeah.
think, is absolutely terrific. And I just absolutely love what Tommy's done for paintball. But we're just a different type of venue, and I like I remember the players' parties. I remember we all hanging out and having a good time. And you're right, Dave. The players giving back. I remember a good example, real quick. Tim Schloss. Now I'm not going to mention the team, but Tim Schloss sponsored a lot of teams with the Tiger Stripe Camouflage back in the day. I remember a team that played in a tournament in the camouflage, and he sponsored them all year. And then they won the tournament, and they got up on stage and wore a different camo, and never said a word about Tim.
Really?
Now, so yeah, absolutely. And you can ask Tim. Tim will tell you too. That happened more than one time. And I am still today talking about Tim Schloss. And
Oh,
Tim Schloss matter of fact, I met Tim at, I think, 1988 at Lively's event. That's when I first met him. I never know who he was. And we kept playing, and he'd come up after every game going, oh, you guys are doing great. And he'd walk away, and I'd be like, who is this guy? And at the end of the tournament, man, he come up, and I found out he was Tiger Stripe Camouflage. I went over and talked to him, and I've been with that guy ever since, period.
Brett, the beautiful thing is when we finish our season, we finish it at his venue. And you want to know something? It is great.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really is. You
Oh,
couldn't ask for a better way to end the season.
we had a great, great time there. Weiss, I hope you make it to St. Louis this year.
Yeah, I'm going to try pretty hard. I got a couple offers to come out and play, but I had some other things going on and just quite couldn't make it. But I did make World Cup, and it was great to see out there.
Yeah, you did. Oh, yeah, I had a good time there.
Yeah,
World Cup's cool, but I just would like you to come to St. Louis this year. And it's in the middle of October, and we had everybody there. I mean, it was pretty cool. Even Lively flew out just to do the meet and greet and party with us for a day, and then he flew back. So it was good. It was everybody getting together, and to see all the old faces that worked very, very hard for paintball was absolutely terrific. And we're going to have Bud there this year, so you got to be there.
Yeah, well, and I also
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Well, Weiss, you don't have to play to be there and have a great time.
it's hard.
And if you have to play, you and I'll jump on a team and we'll play.
There you go.
know.
I would love to do that. I haven't ever played with you. I played against you a few times, shot you a few times, but never played
Oh
with
yeah, you shot my ass more than a few times.
Wait, you know what we can do is we could probably let him guest on the band with us.
you. Yeah.
He went out to shoot me first. I knew it was him. I said, "Oh, asshole, man! I gotta play a little bit."
Him first,
He-
coming for him. Got you.
Yeah.
No,
I-
I love you, man. I
Yeah.
love you.
Oh,
It's
Weiss
always
and I,
been a
we've gone
fun-
back and forth with each other.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah, we go back, man. Look at the picture he put out there, Bud. I mean, he looks like he just got out of second grade. I looked at that
I
picture.
knew it
I
back
got
then,
here.
yeah.
I was crying actually, but it was absolutely a great picture. And that's the thing right now. With the kids coming in here today, you can tell them about the times back in the day like that, but they can't live it. They have to live their own times now. But Howdy and I were talking, and Howdy was saying that those are really the golden years in paintball back in the day. And I've got to really tend to agree with them 1,000%. Isn't that right, Howdy?
I couldn't agree more, Fred. It was 15-man, 45-minute game. It was a blast. 12-gram pump gun. And that was paintball at its purest, man. It was paintball at its purest form. And I met a lot of people that made the industry what it was today back in those days, man. I really like Aaron, like Bud, Jessica Sparks, Russ Maynard. The list goes on and on. I will say, the only thing that disappoints me is I was really hoping, and I think Kevin Donaldson could verify this. I've always been trying to, get Aaron into that Hall of Fame before he passed, and we missed that window, unfortunately.
Well, I think he'll still get in there.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
it would have been nice if he was. We lost a lot of good people. Jim Anderson.
Yeah.
These ballers today will never they'll never experience the arguments you could have with a Jim Anderson. You
Oh,
know?
and I did.
Oh, shit,
That's how I met Jimmy. That's how him and I became friends.
Yeah.
There's
know?
a story behind that I could tell you, but we were over in England. Yeah, and I was a head rep over there in England, and so anyhow, he comes up to me and he goes, he'd written something about me in paintball sports, and it was totally untrue. So I got mad as hell about it, you know. And so anyhow, so he comes over to England and he goes, yeah, he says, I want to get out on your field and take some pictures. I go, you're not getting on my field. And he goes, but I got to take pictures. I go, nope. He goes, well, there's other fields and there's other refs. He went to every ref, and because I had said no, every one of them said no. So the very last day of the tournament, he comes up to me and he goes, you know what? He goes, I got to apologize for what I wrote. He goes, I was just trying to be creative. And I go, yeah, but I says, you made me look bad and I didn't even have nothing to do with that. And he goes, I know. He goes, I apologize. He said, but you know, I'm not going to have a job if I don't get some pictures. I said, all right, go out there. And you know, from that moment on, him and I were the best of friends. Every time.
Amazing, isn't it?
It was. And, you know, it's like you get in a fight with a guy, you know, and which I've I can't tell you how many fights I've had over my life. But, you know, you sit there and you beat the crap out of each other. And then when it's done, you end up being buddies 90% of the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's strange. That's how it was with Jimmy and I. And I love the hell out of that guy.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but, you know, guys back then, you know, just like Weiss now, you know, Weiss was really, really young. He's still working for paintball. Bud and I are not really, really young, but we're still working for paintball, you know, in the same way with you, Howdy. Yeah. And there's a lot of people out there, and those are the people. If you look back in the day and you see their pictures back then, and you know they're still out there pounding the beat for paintball, you know there's a passion involved with that. Yeah. Period. That takes honestly a special person, because we will tell you back in the day, there was so many of these so-called pros, and they wouldn't have a kid come up and want to talk to them about something, they'd shine them on because they were too good to talk to them. You don't hear nothing about them guys no more. I mean, they had their 15 minutes of fame and they were out the door. But you know,
I always
look at you three guys.
You know, hey, I'm a pro. You know, I said, geez, I've been around paintball for 40 years, never considered myself a pro. Unless I'm making a salary that's going to put a roof over my head and feed my family, I'm not a pro.
Well, I did, so I can say that, and yeah, and I absolutely loved it. You know, I mean, Bud and I started. We were going against pterodactyls, so.
Hey, where's the first field you played on?
Yeah,
first field I played on, it was actually in Santa Clara called TAPS, TAPS. So it was indoor. Little 12-gram PGPs was the first time I played indoors and first time I ever played paintball. I think the next time I played was Woodstock up towards Santa Cruz before Mount Herman. I forget.
Was that Leon's field?
What's that?
Was that Leon's field, Mike Leon?
I'm not 100% sure. That didn't ring a bell, but that was the first one, and it was actually I was playing. I was just met Vu Hong, you know, and they were Psychotic 6 at the time. Yep. And I worked right down the street from Vu's shop, and the first day he opened up, I'm like, well, hey, what the heck is that? Because I had just barely started playing, and, you know, he invited me in, started talking to him. He's like, hey, we're going to go play. You want to come out? I'm like, absolutely, man. And I get to play against California Black Diamonds. And, you know, little did I know about the industry and the pro stuff, and just, you know, I'd read a few magazines, and I'm going out there and I'm shooting Sal Calla left and right. And he's like, well, who the heck is this kid, Vu? And he goes, I don't know. He just comes to the shop and works down the road and just got into paintball and, you know, just playing a little bit of amateur. And Sal goes, so he doesn't play for you? And Vu goes, no. He says, okay. So after the day's done, Sal Calla comes up to me and says, hey, what are you doing next weekend? I had to try to play paintball if I can. I mean, 125 case of paint back in those days, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You know, I'm
2,500 round case though.
So Sal says, hey, well, we're going to go play a tournament. You want to come play? I'm like, sure. He's like, yeah, all you got to do is get your airfare. I'm like, what do you mean airfare? He's like, well, yeah, we're going to play in New York. I'm like New York City? And he goes, yeah. He goes, we'll pick everything else up. You just get your airfare. So I think, it was last minute. So my ticket was like $385. I had like $400 in my bank account. And, I'm like, screw it. Let's do it, man. I told my
That was
mom,
a World Cup?
I'm going to New York to go play a paintball tournament. She's like, you're doing what?
Was that the World Cup?
That was World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
90, 91. So still 15 I think, at that time. And that was my
Yeah,
first.
we were there. I did all the World Cups back in the day. I had Constant Pursuit. In fact, we took like second and third and a couple of them up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were some good tournaments. You've played on the Ponderosa now, real quick. People that don't know, this is in Newburgh, but you played on the Ponderosa now. Do you remember the Ponderosa back in the early 90s? It went down that huge gully and way up on the other side. People go, my God, that thing is so big. That's not even half the size that baby was. But it was 45-minute games back in the day, too, though,
It was. It was a
Yeah.
lot. I think you're huffing, puffing, running the flag back now. Just think of those days.
Yeah, well, Kevin would have a good idea, but I think it's about 4 times the size back in the day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was big. It was a big field. Hey, I love that field. We judged our second World Cup there, man. I got a lot of pride in that, man. That's I always say that my shining moment was judging the World Cup. I was always most proud of that.
It's still a fun field. I mean, even being small,
Yeah.
Down that, it's still a blast to play. But it's a brutal field. There's a lot of rocks and stumps and stuff like that.
It is, yeah. Yep.
It's tough.
Yeah, I pull a flag. I look for somebody to carry it back. Matter of fact, when we pulled the only flag that the band got, I was the first guy up there. And I says, hey, somebody pull that flag. And I'm sitting there like this, just looking around. And Tom Gee pulled it, and Tom Gee ran it back, and he crawled the last 15 feet to get to the flag station.
And I thought he was going to die. We're going to have to go out there and give him mouth to mouth. Freddy.
That was great. And then, I was the first one shooting my way in. I go running up behind that bunker, and I trip and fall and just shove my barrel into the dirt, knocked off part of the bunker, and I start putting the bunker back together. And the ref comes over and he goes, it's okay, Freddy, just leave it alone. I go, okay. And I'm knocking the dirt out of my barrel. God, that was a fun time, man. And the crowd, when we pulled that flag and came back with it, that crowd was going crazy. Remember that?
Yes, they were.
Oh, yeah, that was the first one you guys won, if I remember right.
You'd be correct.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
Wasn't that against
I think it's the only time we won. What are you talking about?
No. Actually, we won a couple in St. Louis too. Matter of fact, I pulled a flag in St. Louis this time. So, but we don't. One thing about the band, and this is what I love, other than Schloss expects to win every time we go. But the rest of us, we go there to promote paintball and have a good time. And you know what? People love playing against us. I think they just like to shoot the crap out of us, period. Yeah. So
it is fun.
It is. Oh, and you got to love it. And, I'll be honest with you.
There it is.
When I'm in the flag station right now and waiting for that whistle to go off, I still get the same charge I got when I first played paintball back in the day. Yep. I don't get nervous like I did my very first game, but I still get the same excitement in my mind to get out there and just start banging away. So, you still play at a real high level, though. You are you play at a very high level, yes.
We all did, man. We still play.
No, I mean now. Yeah.
I'm still grinding with some of the good guys, some of the new pros, and just trying to teach them some old school lessons. And it's funny, man. They look at me and they go, "You've been all the way up to the flag off the get go. What's going on?"
We used to teach them how to stitch themselves up when they get hurt.
Yeah, there you go.
Getting back out on the field.
Yeah, Ponderosa split my lip wide open and play the game, going to get stitches, come back and play the finals. Right?
Yep.
I loved you for it, man. I really did, man. I said, "Now this guy's a baller, man. Nothing's gonna stop this guy."
Vu is another one. You mentioned Vu because Vu played on Constant Pursuit a couple years with me, and he's another great little player. And you guys are about the same age, and he's still playing at a very high level.
Yep, yep. Yeah, he plays on the Wolverines. I've seen him a few
Yep.
times and back out there. That's another guy that's done a lot for me in the industry. If it wasn't for him and, guys like Bud and Aaron and John Gregory, and I wouldn't have been able to make it.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. John Gregory, we were just talking last week. Anyhow, we're going to have him back on the show. We had him on before, and then I just texted him back and told him, I said, I'm going to put you on in the next, couple of months here. I'll get Bud to come on there with him because you put Bud and Gregory together. Man, I'll shut down, go have a sandwich. These guys would just take over.
Good man.
Next
They've
time
got some stories.
Next time you talk to John, tell him I said hello, and then ask him about the Tennessee story when he's sponsored.
I'll try to talk to him about twice a month.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was my first goggle sponsor for years.
Yeah.
I hung out with Marty Tripes, and Marty was with Scott. But and be honest with you, even today I still love the JT goggles. I know there's a lot of good goggles out there. You shoot push, you use push, but I just like the JT. I think they're a very good goggle system. And Push has got a new marker out now too. Do you know about that, Dave?
I was talking to Brian about it at a World Cup, and he bought the rights to the one. He's making some tweaks to the new edition right now, and looking forward to getting my hands on one, trying it out. I'm hearing a lot of good stuff. I know the Ironman and Dirk and those guys shot it in St. Louis and
Yep.
Tournament, so that was good to see coming, right off the shelf and out there on the field.
Yeah, no, they who had one right away was Dylan. Dylan got his hands on one right away, and he was telling me about it. And he says, Fred, he says, this thing just rocks. You got to check it out. So, but I haven't shot one yet, so I really don't know. I'm a pretty big autococker guy. I just, and a lot of it's out of respect, and a lot of it's because the marker just shoots great. So I just absolutely love it. Bud, what you put together will be here long after you and I.
Yeah, that's lasted a while. Lasted quite a while.
Yeah. Well, look at the mag and the autococker. They're still around. There's still people that swear by them.
Yeah, timeless.
I've still got my original cocker. I think it was serial number 8330. So
Yeah.
I've still got that one on right hand. And man, I played with that thing for years, and Bud kept trying to get me to shoot something different. I'm like, nah, man, this thing shoots great. Cost me $13. I won it in a raffle, and that's all the money I had.
Best $13 I ever spent, man.
Yeah.
Best $13 I ever spent, Bud.
What's amazing about the cocker though is that for some reason the distance. I don't know why it does it, but the distance is really good with them.
And flat too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're right as rain, man.
They always have been.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron had a little bit to do with me making barrels. Him and I talked about that for quite a while. Then I started making, the cocker or the sniper was the first one that I remember with a removable barrel. We had barrel extensions, and Aaron was making the full length. As a matter of fact, I got one of his. I think it's 2 foot long or some kind of stuff he made for me. Just a barrel. And
Youngblood barrel.
Yeah. Is that called a flatline barrel?
Yeah, it was a long line barrel. Long
line.
Yeah.
You reach across the field with it, man.
No, but I just told him I was going to make a detachable barrel for every gun. He thought that was cool, and when I came out with it, he liked it. He wasn't one of the guys that sat there and, oh, yeah, that ain't going to work, But
Didn't Aaron make a cocker also, take one of your guns and revamp it? Wasn't there?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he didn't make many of them, but yeah, he did that. Some of the stuff he made was just
beautiful,
unbelievable, one of a kind guns. I mean,
beautiful.
I've seen a lot of them. I mean, he made a lot of them, just one of a kind. I
How
mean,
about the
he
Desert
made
Duck?
one look like a 45.
The
Swear I
Desert
could.
Duck. That
Yeah.
gun was gorgeous, man. That was him and David Liu. Remember him from the Kamikaze Shooters?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, David Liu from the Kamikaze Shooters and Aaron got together on that. That gun was beautiful. They go for
Oh
big
yeah.
bucks nowadays. You can find one like that, especially an original.
What's the name of it?
Yeah.
The Desert Duck.
Desert
Yeah.
Duck, huh?
Yeah.
God, I don't think
Yep.
I've ever seen one of
David
those.
Liu.
He
Wow.
didn't make me when he made them. He made maybe he'd make one or five or six, and that's it. And then he'd go on to the next step. And he just he was an artist.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, so he made a rifle one time that God, I wish I could have got that thing, but I don't even know what happened to it. But it was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, ah, it just some of the work he did was like well, he's an artist.
Yeah.
yes. He was an excellent machinist, man.
Oh,
I
yes.
think Kevin and I gave him permission to do my Howdy Bolt. He was the only guy who would let him if he wanted to produce them. Aaron was the only guy who would allow produce them, man. He would be throwing them in buzzards and stuff
Yeah.
down the road. That's what we
Yeah.
figured.
So what was the Howdy Bolt?
What was the Howdy Bolt?
Yeah,
The Howdy Bolt was
the difference. Yeah.
well, the big thing is that it was the original dialing or down the barrel dialers. They used to use the cocking threads on the pump handle to actually stop the bolt inside or the dialer from turning. And I said, there's got to be a better way. So I used an O-ring as a brake and machined it so the O-ring would fit the inner diameter of the bolt and it would just squeeze it enough where it wouldn't spin on you. And you didn't have to drive those cocking bolts into it and mar the bolt up, And also the way it contained the spring. And when that thing was actually cocked together, it was so smooth. I had to have a return spring on a pump handle because you could just shake and feed balls into it, man. It was that, it was that smooth. And my termite still has that. And then, to boot, I put a linear bearing pump handle on that, and it's like glass. It's a one of a kind gun. Yeah. That gun shoots darts, man. The only thing is the paint ain't big enough for it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a problem with a lot of them now. That's why they have all those different inserts and everything. What are
Yeah.
you shooting now, Weiss?
I'm shooting an amp right now, along with a lot. So I kind of go back and forth between Adam Caesarized. So when I played Pittsburgh this year, I came to Caesar to go back and work on him, and I actually got to play with him in the World Cup. And man, I tell you that boom treatment he's putting on those things is just amazing, man.
Isn't that something? And I mean, he does all ours too for the band, but the sound of it even changes the sound for some reason when it fires. It's just amazing. That
Yeah,
stuff is great.
it took a little bit to get used to using a trigger shoe again.
Yeah.
Soccer days I've had a shoe on, so that was a little weird getting used to. A little bit less bounce on the side of the finger, more pull. So had to go back to the old school roots and practice a little bit in the house.
Who'd you play with at the Cup?
God, I played with 3 different teams. So I played with Al. He's been around the industry forever and a day. We were called the Graybeards. So that was in the master side of X-Ball. So
There you go.
over 40 club, I guess, is what we were.
The old 40 club, huh?
Yeah, but it was good, man. I was up there making the 50 off the break and doing that. And then I played with Extreme Rage in the 7-man on the mounds and played a little 10-man X-ball with them, and then played the 10-man mounds with the All A's. It was actually a good turnaround, since I hadn't been out there in 22 years. Last team I played with was the All A's, and then I retired right after that. So it was kind of, full circle for me to come back and get to play with the All A's at the end of the tournament. I think came home with about 4 rings. So it was a good event, good times, and it was good getting out there just balling.
Yeah, you played with the All A's in New York.
I did.
Yeah, I know you did. Yeah.
Just
I watched you. We were talking about you on the sideline, man. You took off. I think you went down the left wire or something. And you just disappeared. We're like, where in the hell did he go, man?
And then I pop up. There he
Yeah.
is.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Those
There you
first
go.
fuckers got-
You jump out of a bark on a tree or some kind of shit. I'm like,
A knothole,
yeah,
yeah.
where the hell he
Jumps out of a
come from?
knothole.
That was good, bud. I like that one.
But
Oh, it's just,
I know.
it's unreal.
I sure you did. There's 6 on my ass.
Yeah,
It's
I
all that
don't know
experience,
what it is,
Louise.
dude, but I'm gonna call you Grease Lightning, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah,
You're
that
fast, fast,
experience.
fast, fast. So,
Yeah, you know what was cool too. Just to talk just a real quick a little bit about WCPL is I got to watch Howdy here play with the Blasters in Florida last year. Yeah, that's right, and played with the Blasters for years. And you got to play your retirement game with the Blasters in Florida. That was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. The guy I started with 40 years, actually 41 years ago now. But yeah, Kevin Donaldson, man. It's a good way to end it, Fred. And like I said, I don't have to play to enjoy the game. My enjoyment is out here helping the youngers understand the history of the game.
Yeah, yeah. Kiko says that he shot one of Aaron's markers with Eat 'em Alive, 5-man at the North Star Ski Resort.
Oh yeah, I remember that tournament.
Yeah, so do I. I remember a lot of things about that tournament.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that went down.
Nothing I'm going to mention, but that was neat. And you know, it was funny too because we were up in Reno, and the balls, the air is thin up there. Yeah, and the balls just kept going and going and going. It was incredible. But yeah, that was a very interesting tournament, and nothing I talk about anymore. But I definitely remember it. 'Cause,
Yeah, that,
that's another thing about paintball. Just like you, Weiss, and just like Bud, and just like Howdy, none of us would have probably knew each other if it wasn't for paintball. And back in the day when we would do Lively's Masters or Jerry Brown's World Cup, you would go see people there that you normally would not see the rest of the year. That's what made it so special, especially for me, because I love meeting people. I'm into that hugely, and that was just a thing. You'd go there and everybody that you liked in paintball and you liked hanging out with and talking to were usually at those two tournaments.
Yeah,
yep.
that's true. That's true.
Yep. Yeah. Lively's, it was like a family reunion thing. I just absolutely loved it.
That's what
That's
we
kind of
call
what
it
we
every
like with the
time we get together,
WCPL.
Fred. It's a family reunion, man.
It was,
Every
yeah.
time. Every
You
time.
know, yeah.
I,
And we
you
had
know, uh,
some good times.
yeah, I always tell people years to come, you won't remember the wins and the losses, but you'll remember the people you've met over the years.
Wow.
And
That's a good way.
that's
And the
one of the beautiful things what we do with the WCPL, Fred, is we bring the history back to these people, and they get to play against some of the legends in the game. Where else can they do that?
Yeah. Absolutely right. That's why we got Drag Weeze in on this now, too.
I'm
You're going
ready.
to be, yeah. We'll be bringing you in. Don't worry. Yeah,
A
you'd
band
you'd be
member?
a good candidate.
A band member. There you go.
Yeah, he's still pretty young, but you never know.
Yeah, you have to be on Social Security. Hey, I
Well,
qualify, Fred. Oh, man.
I love it. Yeah, that's
Uh,
funny. We'll have band walkers. It'll be pretty cool.
you have to have a couple mental needs, be on Social Security. A couple. Oh, Lord.
Oh man.
In
this sport,
I'm
man.
looking
So,
forward to this season coming up, and with the WCPL. I think we're going to have a good showing. We're going to have a lot of fun, Fred.
Yeah, I
It's a
want to
great
get
way to
Weeze
remember
to
your
St. Louis. I want to get him to the St. Louis one. He's done the New York one. That's cool, but
Oh,
the St. Louis one you got to go to.
always, it's a blast, man. It's a blast. Everybody, uh, Bud being there, it was good. I got the hotel guy to get your autograph on it. Guy, he was like, "Oh, Bud Orr's here. Bud Orr." Yeah. He brought his old autococker, man. And he goes, "I got to get this signed." And where is he? Where is he? What room? And he can't. I
That was
can't.
an old one. It was an oldie.
Yeah. But as soon as I seen Bud come down for breakfast in the morning, I said, "Oh, here you go. Here's your chance." Grabbed the kid, told him to go over there and get that gun signed, man. He was pleased. He was very pleased. And that's what paintball is, man. It's those fun moments, man, that we have together. You
It
remember
is,
that?
you know, like I say, you know, I've got a lot of friends, but you know, my best friends are in paintball.
Yeah.
My best
Yeah.
memories are from paintball. You know, so you know, I just wouldn't trade it for anything. You know, and what I respect mostly about you three guys that are on the show tonight is what you're still doing for the sport. You know, it's not so much what can you do for me, but what can you do to help build the sport that you actually really like. And you know, all three of you guys still do that. So you know, and
They,
that's the problem with a lot of the kids nowadays. And you can't blame them. You know, they want their 15 minutes of fame, and that's fine. But you know, they don't understand if they help build a sport, their fame would just keep on rolling along. You know, but
you know, in
you know,
New York, when the Hellhounds lost to you guys, and they were coming off the field, and they were all grumbling, and I mean, they were grumbling, Fred. They couldn't believe they lost to you guys.
oh,
And I
I
said,
know.
"Do you believe you guys just made history? You beat all these legends." And he go, "Really?" And I told him, you know, there's Bud Orr, that Otto Cocker that was shooting you in the butt. That's that guy, and that tank, that Dan Colby, and that feeder. I said, "There you go. That's David Bell." And I said, "The Tiger Stripes." And the guy realized. I said, "If I were you, I'd go over there and shake their hands." And sure enough, they marched right over to your tent and started talking. And you guys became pretty good friends, man.
Yeah. Speaking of
Yeah.
Danny, I another so much
You know
fun.
what? You know what's crazy? Is some of
What?
the families, on the other side, were actually rooting us on. They were sitting there
Really?
yelling, screaming, and go, go, go.
There it is.
Oh,
Nice.
oh,
That's the
it was.
beauty of
That's
the game, man.
they like me so much they made me a jersey.
Beautiful,
Oh,
beautiful.
wow. Cool.
Yep, that's a
Yeah, great,
Hellhounds
great bunch
jersey
of
right
guys.
there.
Great bunch of guys, man.
Yeah,
You know.
but
Oh,
you know
they
what?
are.
I became friends with Francis Swain. You know, he
Yeah.
was one of the head of them. And you know what I respected about them guys the most because I've went to a 10-man already and only had 5 guys show up and went and played. You know, because I mean it didn't bother me. I played with 5. That's how it was. And these guys, they played the first day with 10 guys, and 5 of them got mad and left.
Yeah.
Yep, they weren't there the second day. So I know Rumrells had 2 kids. They jumped in, and somebody else jumped in and gave
Yeah,
me a
that was
hand.
in New York, right?
That's correct. That's exactly
Yeah.
where it was. Yeah,
That was in New York.
that's where I got all this respect and everything for Francis Swain. You know, he's
Yeah.
a chef
I,
out there on the East Coast.
yeah.
But you know, see, there's a memory right there. You know,
Yeah.
and there's another guy I got to meet, and there's another guy I respect. So I just think that's cool as hell myself.
I think everybody would agree with this. The money we spent in the sport, you'll never recover, but the memories are priceless, man. You
Oh,
know,
Oh,
they absolutely
and I
are.
always said that. I said, Jesus, I've met people from all around the world. Where else can you do that and make friends with?
Yep.
Yeah, no,
You know?
you're absolutely right. And the ones that I really, really, really think is special are the guys, you know, like Schloss and Kobe and Bud Orr and Gino and all these guys that have been in it for so long that are still in it, pounding away to make the sport bigger and better. You know, and you too, Weiss. You know, you're doing the same thing, man.
Yep.
Yeah, when you put that picture out there and I looked at that, I'm like, oh my god, that just, I mean, that goes back, and you look at the talent that was in that picture.
Lot. A lot of
Yeah, yeah, because you know, back in the day, I could rock. You know, obviously I can't now because I'm too old. But you know,
Oh,
back
but we
then,
use a rocking chair, Fred.
yeah, well, that's the rock I'm talking about. Yeah,
That's
and
what
he's got
we're.
a control that rocks it forward.
yeah.
yeah, there you go. I love it. Well, you know, I got to tell you, you know, I really appreciated having you guys on here tonight, and Jackie's on tonight. This is a girl player. I've had her on the show before. I mean, she is one heck of a player. She plays for the
Yeah,
Valkyries. Yeah, plus she's cute too. You know,
yeah.
just I hate putting the women on because they make me look so bad. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I told her she's scared us with all those books in the background. I said, you can't do that. You know? I said maybe comic books would be okay, but you can't have all these books back there. But she just captained a big game up in Wisconsin,
Uh-huh.
and she won.
Oh, did
And
she?
she actually put something out on Facebook saying, hey, I need help. I'm going to be outgunned. And my reply to Jackie was, I don't know if you've ever seen this girl rock a mechanical, but
Uh-huh.
there's no way this girl gets outgunned.
Yeah.
You think it's a full auto the way this
Yeah.
girl can rock. Yeah, she is unbelievable.
But, there's some kids out here. I watch them play pump, and you'd swear to God they're shooting an auto. I
Yeah.
mean, they don't chop balls. It's just, you remember the old days, you get going so fast, man.
Oh,
Next thing you know, because you didn't have before view loader come out, everybody thought that you were nervous, but you were just shaking the balls to get them to fall through the hopper, man. Do you remember those days, Reese?
The screen
Yeah,
was
exactly.
Oh
fabulous.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had oil cans that we took and made for hoppers.
Yeah.
We took
Yeah.
PVC pipe. So Vu was kind of one of the guys that was always, inventing new stuff. So we'd be sitting there at the shop and just bored as stiff. And let's get some PVC pipe. We started gluing this stuff together and taking the caps and drilling holes in them, putting zip ties, and we're making our own. And now we can hold 100. Oh, now it's 150, and they're like balloons.
Oh yeah. Big whalers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember. I go back. We're hanging out there up in Rancho with. Oh God, I can't think of his name now. Come on, Fred.
West Coast.
West Coast. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm trying to think of his name, man. I had it and I just blew it too. Now I can't think of what it is. But we would hang out and he would be inventing stuff all the time up there. And God bless it. Come on, you can help me with that.
Player,
Oh, huh? Who?
player or owner?
Both.
Oh,
Both.
Anthony.
Yeah. Huh?
Anthony owned West Coast, but prior.
No, not Anthony. No. Not it was on the West Coast, but oh my God, I got a brain freeze on his name now. My God, and I hung out with him all the time too. He's been out of the scene for a long time. He had the motorcycle accident coming back from up there in South Dakota. He went up there to Sturgis and was coming back, and his bike went off the road, and he laid in the ditch, man, for like a day and a half before they found him.
Wow.
So,
Oh, he's up there
Glenn
with
Palmer,
you.
Glenn
Glenn
Palmer.
Palmer, yeah.
Yeah, God, I could not believe I could not think of his name. I mean, I used to go up there every Friday. I'd go up there when he would be sitting in his garage before he had his shop. And as soon as I'd walk in there, I'd go, "Oh, Fred, let me show you this." And he'd start bringing out some of the stuff he put out, some of the stuff he never didn't. But that guy was constantly making stuff,
Fred,
Yep.
Ooh,
that's the way it was back in the old days, man. It was
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
people in their garages. You'd say, "Oh man, I can make this better," and they
Yeah.
would.
Look at David Bell. God,
Yeah.
when I first seen the view loader and I seen the thing in there, I'm like, poof. Oh my God, it was so cool. You got something spinning, you're not out there shaking to get the paintballs to go down. And yeah, it just that was absolutely very, very cool. How did you forget Glenn? Well, you know what, Kathy? I'm not really sure. I got about a gazillion things running through my mind all the time, and half the time, my mind's in there going, "What the hell do your lips just say?" So, that's right too. You're absolutely right, Dave. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I'm sorry I screwed it up at the beginning. I don't know what the hell happened, but I think the show went pretty good. We definitely didn't talk the whole show about Aaron, but we did bring him into the conversation throughout the show because a lot of things he did for paintball, I think, were absolutely great. And the sad part about it is definitely not the things he put together, but losing him. You know, we would all like to live forever, but we all know that's not going to happen. So, I just want to thank Dave and Howdy and Bud for coming on tonight and mentioning him. You know, some of the stories that you guys had about some of the things that he did back in the day, I think were absolutely terrific. Really, really was. So I'm going to start with you, Dave. I'm going to let you say one parting thing about Aaron and say goodbye to everybody. But right off the top, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on tonight.
Yeah, anytime, Fred. I appreciate it, and always enjoy coming on. It's always a good time, especially when I get to see some old friends on here. Funny thing, I'll make it short and sweet. Going down and seeing Aaron multiple times, and back in those days, there wasn't a lot of custom stuff like Bud was saying. And he was kind of, for me, the innovator of the custom stuff. First one I was introduced to on that side of it. And I told him, hey, I want to polish out these tanks and I want to make my stuff look really cool. He's like, bring it on down next time you come down. So next time I came down, I brought like 3 20-ounce tanks and some barrels, all sorts of stuff. I said, all right, here you go, Aaron. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, grab that chair right there. I'm like, for what? He goes, come here, I'll show you. Grab that chair, brought me over to the buffing wheel, said, sit down and have fun. I said, what do I do? Me? He goes, I'll be back in about 6 hours. And yeah, I said, can I leave a couple of these for next time?
So did you get it buffed out?
Yeah, just get it buffed out. But, that's the kind of guy that Aaron was, is, he took the time to show you how to do it. And it actually meant more to me that he wanted to take the time instead of doing it for me. And
right.
About him, he did make me some barrels for me and stuff. And I still got a couple that I hold on to and cherish. But just a top of the notch kind of guy, man. I'll see you on the other side, brother. Much love. And we're going to miss you.
Yeah, and there's a lot of unsung heroes like them. A lot of people didn't even know about Aaron. And just like Gino. Everybody knows about Velkin, but not many people. You mention Gino, and they're like Gino. And he's got one of the biggest companies out there. So it's just strange the way a lot of these kids are nowadays that don't really know these guys. That's why I got to keep mentioning these guys at the beginning of my show. I just don't want people to forget, who really worked their butts off. And Aaron was definitely one of them.
Absolutely.
All right, Dave. Buddy, I appreciate it again.
Appreciate it.
Take care, brother. You take care. I love you.
Take care,
Stay safe, my friend.
Player.
Take care.
Okay. Dave Cook, man, what a great kid. Really, really is. Still a great player. Absolutely very, very cool. Well, I believe I cannot think of Glenn's name. That just blows me away. God.
Master of Brass, man. That's what
yeah, it was. I had Vu stuck in my mind. I'm like, God bless it. So, but it is what it is. Howdy, you're next, buddy. I appreciate you taking the time to come on here tonight. I'd like to have you on again. I've had you on before, but I'd like to bring you on sometime and we'll just reminisce about football. Because you're a Packer fan, aren't you?
Yeah. Hey, that was close, Fred. I told you. Yeah,
I knew that. I knew it. Yeah.
You
know what? If he wouldn't have threw the interception, there's a good chance. And everybody, I'm from Wisconsin. So do I like the Packers? They're okay, but I was rooting for San Francisco because I'm out here like that. But I wasn't gonna mention it, but
those 2 interceptions that they dropped, that would have been it, right?
Oh yeah, and they were right in Packer hands too.
Yeah. That was Nixon. He would have ran that in for a touchdown easy.
Yeah,
man.
but the last one loved through. If he would have just kept that ball and went out of bounds, they could have just jump to the next play. But you guys got a good team coming in the next year, man.
I had a lot of fun. I didn't expect them to do as good as they did, Fred. So this, like I said, it was house money, man. So
I knew they were going to do good because they had nothing to lose.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I wasn't going to mention it, but I just have to. I'm a football freak. I absolutely love it, and I'm hoping. Gino likes the Eagles. I mean, everybody's got their teams. I'm not a huge San Francisco team, but I'm kind of rooting for him because of Purdy right now. Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, right.
So, the very last guy.
I'm a Giants fan. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah. Hey, that's why my logo's 24. That's Willie Mays, man.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why I wore his number, man. I always had 24 for Willie Mays, man.
Yeah,
That
my wife and I went out to dinner with Tommy Lasorda, and
was,
yeah, and when we were down and down at North Beach in San Francisco, and they had the owner of the Giants come in. There was all kinds of Giants came in because the Dodgers were up here playing the Giants.
yeah.
So we had dinner with all of them. Tommy Lasorda actually got me an agent. He was a very very good man. He's a guy that I thought was absolutely terrific too.
Oh,
So
he was very good.
yeah, I love my wife too. So
Who doesn't,
yeah.
man? Yeah, what? You know?
Well,
Yeah,
Howdy, I'm going to let you say goodbye to everybody, and one last shot for Aaron.
yeah.
And I want to
Well,
thank you again so much for taking the time to come on tonight.
Fred, my pleasure. And with Aaron, it was a pleasure. And it was a pleasure getting to know you a little bit. The time was short, man. It really was. Had a lot of fun, and he's probably up there right now with Bill Harvey, his old friend Thunder Pig, kicking up a storm, man. So rest in peace, brother. I'll see you soon.
All right, Howdy, you have a good evening, buddy.
Fred,
Take
you
care,
have a good
brother.
everybody. WCPL, man. We're the fun league, man. Don't ever forget that.
Love you, brother. Love you. Right
Yeah,
on,
Love
man.
you. Love you, man. You take care of
Bud,
yourself.
see you soon, my friend.
Okay, you bet. Yeah.
Well, right on, bud.
It was a great show.
You know, I just love the guys we have on. You know, I, I I just pick and choose, and I love these guys. You know, Rocky Calalone I pronounced his last name wrong, but anyhow, he's coming on in the next week or two too. So, you know, Rocky,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So yeah,
Not many of them. Not many of them. I don't know. The older.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, you're like the encyclopedia of paintball.
Rocky's
So
cool. He's a
yeah,
cool
he is.
dude.
Well, but I
Yeah.
appreciate a lot. I'm gonna let you say one last thing about Aaron and goodbye to everybody. But again, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on tonight.
Well, I love it. Love being on your show, and it's my pleasure, especially talking about a great guy like Aaron. And he will he'll be missed. You know, I haven't seen him in several years, but the guy just he's just a hell of a person, and I know he's looking down on us with a big smile on his face, and no,
Well,
he's a great guy, you know, and God loves him. I know now because he's trying to fix something for him. So you know, it's he'll be there
well,
building. He'll be there building you know something.
something, yeah.
So
Well, as long as we're around, we're going to keep the ball rolling, bud. You and I
oh
are.
hell yeah, yeah, you
All right,
betcha.
brother. Well, I love you,
All
man.
right,
Say hi to Kathy for me.
you do the same. Love everybody, and you take care of yourself.
All
Love
right,
you.
bud. All right, everybody. You know, I appreciate. Sorry about the beginning. I don't know what I did, but I'm sure it's my fault. I'll take the shot for it. But I appreciate everybody watching tonight. You know, Aaron Carter was a big part of paintball, and it's just like we just lost another part of our puzzle. And you know, we don't want our puzzle to keep getting smaller. We want it to get bigger. So anyhow, I'll keep you informed. Rocky said something about he wanted to be on the 20th, so we'll see what's going on with that. All right. So everybody, I appreciate so much you watching. Remember, when we all work together, we make paintball bigger and better. So until next week at 7 p.m. Pacific time on Facebook, on Flagpole Production, please, everybody, play hard, play safe, play fair. Get out there and play paintball. Bye now.